Hello and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about getting my ears sewn up. So I haven't, as you can see, had it done yet, but about a month ago, maybe a bit more than that now, I decided that I was going to get them sewn up. And it's not because I don't like them, because I do enjoy having stretched ears. It's more because of my career and I want to be an actor, and so getting my ears sewn up is one of the things that I have to tick off to kind of make sure that I'm a little bit more versatile, I guess. It's not to say that you can't be an actor if you have stretched ears, but I just thought if I want to do TV or they want me to have my hair up for any reason, that's the one thing that's gonna be a bit of an issue. Piercings can be taken out, tattoos can be covered up, hair can be dyed, makeup can be put on, taken off. Having stretched ears is the one thing, sadly, that I'm gonna have to say goodbye to. Which is like, it's a bittersweet thing because it's gonna be crazy to see me having normal ears again, but I'm gonna really miss having stretched ears. And yeah, it's a little bit of a wrench in my heart. I've had stretched ears for 10 years now, I'd say, and I love them. I just love them. But sadly, they're gonna go. I do have the ones above stretched to a 3, so down the line I might just do a similar thing in the smaller ones, but we're gonna see how that goes, because you're allowed to get them pierced within 4 weeks, and then depending on the scars, you'll have to judge it from there. But yeah, that's like a 3. There. And there. So, I've had these just out, and I've left them out for, oh gosh, 4 weeks now? 5 weeks? And maybe even a bit longer, because you're supposed to leave them as long as possible, and the surgery is next week. So it'll be a month and a half, probably, that I've had them out. I've definitely noticed that they have shrunk a bit in this time, this one especially, and my journey has been very interesting so far. So I went to, I'm not going to say the name of the place, but they're very big in London and they're very popular as well. And they misquoted us. So we had paid for the pre-assessment and we got in and I got my ears checked, and it was weird because it was coronavirus time, so I had to wear my mask, unhook, show them each ear. They talked me through the surgery. It was everything that I expected, which was good. But the only problem is the quote at the end was, let's say, twice as much as what we were expecting. So they quoted over £2,000, and they had said it would be about £1,000 for both. So we weren't too happy about that because they had misunderstood over the phone somewhere what we were applying to get done. So I just wanted stretched ear surgery, and they put split ear, so a bit of miscommunication. Luckily, they very kindly refunded us everything, but that was definitely not the bomb we had expected to be given to us at the end. Luckily, a week or so later, we've managed to find somewhere. They saw me on Tuesday, talked me through the surgery. Luckily, at this point, I was pretty confident about what was going to be happening to my ears. And yeah, so I'm booked in for next Wednesday. I'm going to do a video before and a video after documenting everything that happens with them. So with this ear, as you can see, it's a circle, so that will be quite easily joined, if you know what I mean, like that. And they want to try and keep as much of the outside of the ear as possible to keep that shape. So they're probably going to cut it there and kind of join it back like that. So that ear, you can probably see before, after, will look like a fine ear. This ear, however, has split into a piercing, so it's like a teardrop shape. And I was expecting this, because they normally try and give you vertical scars instead of horizontal, but this one looks like it's going to end up being more of like a Y-shaped, if that makes sense. So my ears might be a little bit uneven, but I mean, I'm hoping not too uneven. I'd like for it to be, you know, as even as possible. I don't know. I hope so. But yeah, that one will have a slight horizontal and a slight vertical scar because of the teardrop nature. So with my ears, I actually went up to a size 28 or 30, I can't remember. So they were like big. I don't have many photos, so it might be quite hard. I'll try and include some photos. I then began to downsize after a while because I started doing musical theatre at college. So I went down to a 20, stayed at a 20 for a while, and then when I finished that course, I then think I'd gotten down to like a 14. And then over my course at Art Z, I did a foundation there. I managed to get them down from like a 16, 14 down to a 10. And then for the last year, I've had 10s in my ears whilst being at drama studio. So amazingly, I managed to downsize them on my own. Down from like 28, 30 to 10. And then I kind of noticed after a year they didn't look like they were gonna shrink anymore, which was fine. I didn't mind. But then I spoke to my dad, who's also an actor, about what are the best steps from here. And I've got 2 years before I graduate. That gives me 2 years to let the scars heal and to get, you know, a new piercing and everything and just have normal studs. And I felt quite confident that that might be a smart idea to kind of get it done in my second year. That's kind of how this journey started. And then it just so happened, like, I was being offered dates before because obviously coronavirus, nobody wants to go in. So they were just like, yep, we'll book you in. Luckily, I haven't had any splittage down or across the lobe. So that was good. And luckily, you know, obviously they're at a small size now, so they'll be able to sew them back together. It shouldn't be too hard of a job, really. I'm just gonna miss them, I think. I do like them. It's not that I don't like them at all. I just gotta do it. So I've been told that I'm not allowed to wash my hair for at least 4 days after I get them done, just so that I don't accidentally dissolve the stitches. And apparently I'll recover really quickly from this. We'll just have to see, because I start the week after and I start my course back into second year during coronavirus. Fun. So we're going to be wearing a lot of masks and I'm worried that that's going to be quite sore and I'm going to have to be quite careful. Oh god, I'm going to have to make update videos on everything to do with that as well. Luckily my doctor's absolutely lovely and I am excited to get it done, but I'm also terrified. I have bought myself some earrings so that I have something to wear after when I get them re-pierced. But we're gonna have to just see how it goes, I guess. Cool, I will update you when I'm on my way there or just after. Fun. And so we're back and it is the day of the surgery. I am feeling a bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is the last time I will be able to do this, for example. I've taken all of my earrings out apart from these ones, and on this side apart from this one and that one. I might take them out just before, I'm gonna see what they say, because they did want, I think, my earrings out, but those ones are harder to put back in, so either I'll take them out there or, you know, we will see. Yeah, so in about 2 hours, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go there and yeah, I'm gonna do it with a mask on, which is fun because of coronavirus. I don't know what to expect really. It might hurt, it might not. I'm gonna get injections in the side of my head, so I'll be able to give you more information on that once it's done. Hopefully I'll feel okay enough to video. If not, I'll video tomorrow. This is goodbye. Bit sad, to be honest. Kind of don't want to get rid of them, but at the same time, if it's gotta be done, it's gotta be done. See you in a bit. Hello and welcome back, and this is now 2 days after the surgery. So on the actual day, I was not feeling like talking about what happened. On the actual day, I was quite tired and I just wanted to hang out with my family and you know, just have a chilled one because it had been a long day. So I went to my surgery and I had my mask on and I went in, filled out all the forms, sat down. I was actually seen very quickly. So this was at 4:30 and yeah, I was in before 4:30. You know, cracked into it, sat down, you know, took my shoes off, hopped on the bed, and I was nervous, I'm not gonna lie. On the actual day, I was shaking a little bit. And I was like, I feel like a total wuss. I had injections in my ears, and 1, 2, 3, kind of, I think somewhat on the inside of my ears, where the scarring around in the hole was, and yeah, it wasn't fun. Some people in videos have said that they didn't hurt. Don't know why. Mine really, really hurt. I hated it. It was the worst part for me. It was horrific. I don't mean to like put people off with that. I think it's because I did stretch mine to 30 millimeters and then I've downsized all the way to a 10. So my ears got massively stretched and then shrunk down. So I've had a few blowouts as well when downsizing, actually. Not as many when stretching, but more when I was downsizing, I had more blowouts. So maybe my ear was slightly more scarred. Who knows? Yeah, I've got a lot to talk about. And as you can probably see, my ears are wonky currently, but we'll get to that in a minute. I had 3 injections in this ear. Was uncomfortable. In this ear, it was really painful. And part of the reason why I think it might have been more painful is on this side, the hole, when I was stretching, did break into a piercing that was next to it. So generally a bit more scarred. Could have been partly to do with it. The next thing was, I then had numb ears. I felt like, you know when you need to pop your ears on a plane? I kind of had that sensation. And then it went away quite quickly, that sensation did. It did make me a little bit uncomfortable, but, you know, could deal with it. And then they turned my head to the side and put a sheet over me with a hole for my ear. I'll put a time to skip to if you want to miss this bit. But yeah, so they cut around the inside and then they actually didn't do what I was expecting, which is where the problem comes in. They didn't remove anything from the outside edge. They then cauterized it. So that was lovely for about 10 minutes on either side. I could smell the smell of, yeah, myself, my ear, my flesh, which was a bit grim. And then they sewed it up. None of this on my right side I could feel. It was fine. It was kind of like tugging, you know, it was perfectly fine, just tugging. And I could feel movement and pressure on the area, but that was about it. Then obviously the stitching. On this side the stitching wasn't so bad, but then I guess it was more straightforward because it was just straight down. I could feel it, you know, kind of, you feel pressure going through, pulled out, you know, you can tell what they're doing, but obviously you can't feel it, if that makes sense. You can understand what's happening as it's happening, but you can't feel, obviously, it going through or it hurting. It was quite funny because I did remember that a few days prior I was sewing some jeans and I almost laughed to myself, thinking, I feel like that pair of jeans. I don't know. Then on the left side, did exactly the same thing. Throughout all of this, I was so much calmer. Once I was like, oh, are you doing it? And I couldn't feel it. And he was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm like, it's going really well. And then on the left side, it was fine. It was a bit more sore. I think because my ear had split up more, that the cauterizing and the stitching actually hurt a bit more. Well, I could feel it. It didn't hurt, but I could actually feel it a bit more because maybe the stretching was higher and closer to the cartilage. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Nothing I couldn't deal with. Nothing that made me uncomfortable. I was just like, ooh, that's actually stinging a little bit, which is a bit weird. But could have even been my imagination. Who knows? Then I got to look at them. They were very swollen. And then I got bandaged up with some gauze and some tape. I was told to not wash them for 2 days, but I still haven't. This is the second day now. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I'm going to try leave it a couple more days. Just keep my hair scraped back, out the way. Keep covering them. I've been on some painkillers, which has made it okay. Found the first few nights sleeping was hard. Having to either sleep on my back or with my arm kind of over to keep my ear away from the pillow. I do recommend that. That has been the saviour position because I struggled to sleep on my back. The main problem I've found is the fact that I might have to go back in. And that is something that I'm not happy about. So my first surgeon that I spoke to said that they were going to remove a little bit and stitch the Y shape and stitch it to my head. So remove a bit close to here and close to here, just to bring the ears in and make them more even. I was promised that they would be mainly kind of symmetrical with a couple of millimeters difference. You know, obviously they're going to be a bit different. And as you can see right now, it's not looking good. So I'll show you a photo from, this is day 1. And I'm going to show you today, obviously. So as you can see, this ear has been stitched more horizontal and this one more vertical. And I was a bit annoyed because I've done my research, and what's happened on this ear is because I stretched my ear too big, I was like, it was an O, and when you squish an O and you don't remove any of it, instead of it going like that, it's gone like this, and it's become long, and it sticks out away from my head, as you can see. On this side is slightly better shape. I mean, it's still got extra here, so technically they just need to go zoop straight across. There's too much ear. I've got like a W going on from where it goes zoop, zoop, on both sides. And the problem with this ear is, for some reason, it seems to be bent. So it's in like a C shape, whilst this one is slightly more straight. This is really frustrating and really disappointing for the money that I'm paying as well. They very kindly offered to fix it for free, and I know there's still a bit of swelling, obviously. It's only day 2, but I think even if it goes down, it's not going to change the W shape. There's too much lobe, and they should have really removed a bit, because in all of the ones that I've seen that have had a bit removed, it creates a nice kind of ear shape. It comes and it joins the head, and it doesn't do big sticky outy lobes. So yeah, that is what they're currently looking like. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, if I'm honest. I've got a checkup in a week, and then I've got to wait 3 months, obviously, for the inside to heal as well. So either they're going to do it next week and they're going to cut my ears up, or they're going to leave it a bit longer and then do it. So it's looking like I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer to have normal looking ears. I'm just a bit upset because obviously the scarring's going to be painful. I'm going to have to go through it all over again, and clearly my ears are already scarred because it hurt the first time, so it's a bit of a disaster. I still thought it was worth videoing and showing what's going on. It's been a bit hard to kind of like motivate myself to get up, get ready and do it, because obviously it's a bit gutting to look at your ears and be like, it's sticky outy and gross and not at all what I wanted. I'll show you some examples of some ears that actually are how I was expecting, and you'll see how mine were a similar size, similar shape, and could have easily had that small section removed and brought to the head. And the thing is I made sure I did my research, and I don't know how this doctor thought it was going to go, because I've got one that comes out and is bent, and I've got one that's long. How? How do we get to here if they're a professional and a professor? Not too sure, and I'm not too happy, but we will see. I'm sure stuff will be done. I will update you when I know.